Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Let's talk some sports. It is Wednesday, December 7th, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, and the Fox 2 app. Broadcasting live from Big Boy in Wyandotte on Biddle, the great Lindsey Hunter. Sitting in the big chair today, two-time NBA world champion with the Lakers and the Pistons, and a long-time resident of the state of Michigan, my friend. Lindsey, it's been a minute. It is so good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
Yeah?
Doing good. Doing better than I'm here with you guys, man.
I'm telling you, it is so. Lindsey, the one thing about Lindsey Hunter that has never been confused is that smile, man. Lindsey is always smiling, man.
Hey, man, better to smile than to cry,
That's
right?
right. Amen to that. One guy who's always crying is Tom Mazawey over here.
I'm smiling now. I got Lindsey smiling at me. Lindsey, who loves you, man?
You love me.
That's right.
All right.
Maz, you look good, actually. Oh, my gosh.
I do?
Man, this is the best. This is the best Tom Mazawey has looked on a remote in quite some time.
I think
And
the chili peppers tanning, I looked pretty good that day.
You look
Right.
pretty good here, too.
That's good to know.
Flannel doesn't look good, though.
Let me see a Sam Flannel shot. Sam Flannel in the house with us
God,
today.
it's great to do another show with my new friend, Lindsey Hunter.
So for those of you who don't know, you guys did yesterday. Was it yesterday's show you guys did
Yesterday.
together?
Yeah.
I mean, this back and forth. Was there a Coney dog outfit I saw you on or something like that?
That was heavyweights.
Oh,
I
that was
also
the
did Big
heavyweights.
D Energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
They got into it over Ben Wallace being in the Hall of Fame, and as everyone knows that listens and watches Woodward Sports, they know the legend killer Sam says that Ben doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame, and Lindsey
He
kind
said
of was
that out loud?
He was kind of shocked.
I'm still shocked, Lindsey. I can't believe that.
I think deep down inside, he's shocked, but he's going to stand on that mountain.
Okay. Wait till Ben Wallace walks in here later.
Are you going to tell him, Linz? Are you going to tell him about Sam?
Absolutely.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Oh, man, it's so great. Guys, if you're out and about today, we are at the Big Boy location on Biddle in Wyandotte, and our partners at Big Boy are such great people, and we invite all of you out here. We'll be here till 4 o'clock today. I know the Morning Woodward Show and Big D Energy broadcasting live as well. We've had some pretty great crowds out here, so we certainly appreciate you for that. Lindsey, let me get into this with you. I have not seen you in a long time. Catch us up on what has been happening. You were out there coaching a little bit.
Yeah, I was coaching down at Mississippi Valley, and you know, which is one of my passions is coaching, working with kids.
Do you see Jerry Rice?
I didn't get to see him. I didn't get to see him. But, you know, I'm a big Jerry. You know I'm a big Jerry Rice fan, 49er fan. So
I know you are.
I was looking for him because I had a jersey for him to sign, so I'm still looking for him. Yeah, but I enjoyed it. You know, was there for 3 years. Now I'm back here where I was practically born.
There's no doubt, right?
Right.
A little bit different taste, though, too, you know, coaching Mississippi Valley,
yeah.
you know, talk to you. I don't know how deep you want to go into it. A little bit different.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
It's a big difference. It's a lot of people probably would have, you know, went into culture shock.
Right.
Some of the things that we had to go through. But luckily, so I was born in Mississippi, so I've been in the rural areas. And,
Yeah.
you know, the name of the city is Itabena.
Itabena.
Yes.
Itabena.
So it was an experience, and, you know, you wonder why you do certain things. And but at the end of it, you always realize, hey, God put me through that for something better.
You know, one of the things too about professional athletes who play in Detroit, and even though you're not from here, Lindsey, you are from here. I mean, you've lived here probably longer than anywhere else in your life. What it is about this area that has made the Hunter family stay?
Well, I just think how, you know, we have adopted family here. It's like people we've met, you know, 30 some odd years ago, and now everybody's kind of taken us as you guys are Detroiters. And my wife was talking about that the other day, that people were like, you guys are from Detroit.
Oh, God, yeah.
You guys have been here forever, you know. So I just love it here. I love the sporting, it's a sporting town. And, of course, if you were an athlete here, you're beloved.
Right.
And
especially if you're a champion.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That doesn't hurt.
So I love that about Detroit.
That's awesome. Tom Mazawey, kind of the same that you've been here for 30 years. I mean, you're just this is home.
No doubt about it, man. I go home, back east for the holidays, see my family and my dad. I'll see him for Christmas, after Christmas, into the New Year's. But I always come back here. A lot less traffic, a lot less hubbub. It's cool, man. Yeah. And I love my teams here just as much as I love my teams back east.
Right.
Good stuff. Guys,
this is a Yankee day for me today.
Go ahead, man. Go
ahead. Yankee. I'm going to take this down so you guys can see the full effect of Aaron Judge. Welcome home, buddy. You're going to be the next captain. The next captain of the Yankees. They paid. This is what amazing. They offered him $213 million before last season.
7 years, $213 million.
He says no, thank you. They're now paying him $360 million. Do you think maybe if they would have just offered him $290 back then, he would have signed? Maybe $300, he would have signed.
Yeah.
They lost themselves close to $100 million by being cheap.
The art of the negotiation, though. Yeah. If I knew then what I know now, things would be a little bit different. So the thing with Judge is the hard part is he will probably never have a season.
No.
Again, he will never have a season like he just had.
Nobody could.
So you are paying essentially for
what he did, just like Miguel Cabrera.
What he did instead of what he's going to do. But I'm not going to profess like I'm some Yankee historian or anything like that. But Mad Dog Russo, I heard him talking about this. He said that if Hank Steinbrenner did not re-sign Aaron Judge, he would never be able to walk in Yankee Stadium again.
Facts.
Hank is not George Steinbrenner. Hank does not have the love of the people.
Hal.
Right.
Hal Steinbrenner. Hank Steinbrenner passed away, didn't he?
You know what? You might be. Forget it. It's one of them.
Right, okay.
One is dead. One is still alive.
I think it's
George.
I think it's Hank.
You're probably right.
Either way, who's the Yankee fan here? But the son is not the father. The father was beloved. The father had won multiple championships, hand over fist.
Look at here, Illich's.
Absolutely, it is a different deal when the son takes over. And Aaron Judge is a player that is seen as a Derek Jeter type player.
Right, the next one.
Born and raised, the next one, the captain. You can't let players like that leave.
But New York is known for opening up the pocketbook.
Yep.
So I don't, there wasn't a big deal to me when I saw how much he signed for. It was just a big deal when he turned down that $200 million because, like you said, no one knew he would have a season like that. But in sports in general, you pay for what they've already done.
Exactly.
Hoping that they can match that for the rest of their career as long as possible.
So we talk about, man.
Just to put up the contract details, this is what he makes per minute, per day, per at bat.
So $770,000. Then this is per Ken Rosenthal. 9 years, $360 million. $770,000 per week. $110,000 per day. $4,600 per hour. $76 per minute for the next 9 years.
That's pretty good.
That is an awful lot of money, and that's a. We say these terms, $360 million over 9 years. Trey Turner got $300 million over 11 years. Like, it's no big deal anymore.
That's sports today, though.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like, I mean, it's not my money, so I don't care.
Right,
God bless
you.
Right. You know what I mean? But I mean, the way in which we talk about money, and then you relate it to the Detroit Tigers, and we've got our guy here, Rajcast, Rogelio Castillo, Woodward Tigers. What are the Tigers going to do? Would the Tigers open up their checkbook for stuff like for players like this? And the answer is simply no. You're not going to get a player of that caliber of Bryce Harper, a Trey Turner.
They got to start winning first.
A north of $300 million player. I mean, Justin Verlander just signed $43 million a year.
Yes.
If you want one of these all-time greats, if you want one of these future Hall of Famers, you're going to have to pay for it, and I don't know if that place is here.
You got to go get the Brinks truck, and we've seen it several times, and you have to win.
Absolutely.
It's the only way to win, and I think eventually it's going to happen, because it has to.
Right.
You know?
If you guys remember the start of the Tigers, when they signed Pudge, he came over here.
Right.
They signed Pudge. All of a sudden, you get Maglio Ordonez coming off an injury. No one really wanted to pay him his worth. The Tigers overpaid him a little bit to come. But guess what? That started it. Placido Polanco comes over, and it just goes on and on and on, and you build a dynasty for 10 years. And it's too bad they just couldn't take it off the sheet and win it all.
Big show for you today. Lots going on in terms of the NFL. We'll talk to our good friend from Pro Football Focus, Ari Meirov, today. He will join us in about 15, 20 minutes from now. So much to get to in the NFL, and that includes the Detroit Lions, Lindsey. I'm telling look, this thing to me is really a really interesting thing. The Lions have gone from a 1.5 point underdog to now a 2.5 point favorite. Vegas loves the Lions this week against a 10-win Minnesota Vikings team. I feel like this is a situation at Ford Field. This is as close to a home playoff game as you will get maybe in years, but maybe in years to come. We'll see. I mean, next year they should compete for the division. That's my expectation. Forget about the playoffs. I think they should compete for a division. But this could be a taste of what's to come, that atmosphere at Ford Field. You know Detroit sports fans just as well as anybody, Lindsey. I mean, this thing could start getting pretty interesting.
It is, and you can feel the energy, how the fans are energized just from what they've done lately. But the Vikings, regardless of how much the Vikings win, I do not consider them as one of the upper echelon teams. I don't know why. I just don't. They just seem like it's
their quarterback.
maybe the quarterback. You like that?
Yeah, you're right. Kirk Cousins. I'm not a fan.
I like that.
But I every time I watch them play, they continue to win, though. You got to give them credit. They win. They squeak a lot of games out. I just don't see them being a good football team. And
the Lions are trending in that direction, Maz. I mean, you're in that stadium a lot. You've been in that stadium a lot. It can get loud. It can get raucous. It could become a huge home field advantage. Dan Campbell was talking about how big of a game this one was. Here's Dan Campbell talking about that now. He wants the crowd to come alive at Ford Field.
I do believe in this team, and I haven't wavered from that. I believed in them even when we were 1-6. So, you know, we got to play good football. It's a good team coming in, but there again, I like our football team. Man, all hands on deck this week. Man, our fans got to show up, which I know they will. This is going to be electric. All right, it is big. This is big. It's big for our players. It's big for us. Shoot, it's a big game for them. But man, look, they're all special, but this is one of those games. This is why you're into coaching. This is why you're into playing. This is why you love the game of football. It's going to be awesome.
If you project ahead, and look, all this excitement goes away without with a loss. All this, the rest of the season, perhaps any playoff hope, any visions you have of finishing 2022 out on a high note, perhaps go out the window with a loss against the Vikings. But this is that game to make a statement. Hey, NFL, we are here, and we ain't going nowhere. And I just can't wait to see it.
Right. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it goes out the window this season, because who expected the Lions to be in the playoff hunt? You did?
10-7, I said.
Oh God,
he did.
But normally,
normal people.
Every Lions fan I talk to every year says the same thing.
Right.
They say 10-7 or something crazy like that, and it never happens. But I think we are seeing the trend start to change. But I wouldn't say it was a total loss if they didn't win this game.
Absolutely.
Because they're still playing great football.
Is this as excited as you've been for a Lions game in a long time? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Also, Tom Mazawey, we're going to hear from Dan Campbell. Fans' reaction toward him, it's a funny one. I mean, we wanted him fired 5 weeks ago.
We want everyone fired.
And now we want him on a 10-year deal. He's going to win the Super Bowl here in Detroit. You will hear from Dan Campbell. We'll talk to Ari Meirov. We're going to take a deep dive into Lindsey Hunter a little bit, too. I mean, Lindsey, you should, if the pre-show was anything like the show, That's what we needed. We should have just started recording the pre-show meeting.
It was amazing.
It's good stuff. So we're hanging with Lindsey Hunter today. Braylon out the rest of the week, traveling for business. So we'll get with Braylon next week. He's got some business to take care of. Lindsey's going to be in his seat all week long. We are live at Big Boy in Wyandotte on Biddle. Come see us. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
That's right, guys. 27 locations and 2 on Woodward Avenue, right near our studios in Birmingham. And you know what it is. The sun's not coming out for us anymore. It's over. You got to go get a suntan, and you got to get it in the cleanest salons in the D. That's what Chili Peppers Tanning has. And if you join the Pepper Club, they're going to save you $5 against any competitor on unlimited tanning. How about it? The hottest deals, the hottest bulbs, the darkest tans. It's Vitamin D headquarters heaven. ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings. Cintron has combined all 3 of their delicious flavors into a limited edition 6-pack sampler box. Try Cintron's great tasting cranberry classic and sugar-free all in one pack. Pre-order your Cintron 6-pack sampler box today at CintronWorld.com/Red Wings. Get energized with Cintron and let's go Red Wings.
Nobody's, MF'd me to my face or anything yet, but people have been nice, which I get some of that. Which is awesome. But I also know, look, I don't read everything, but I told you, I get head up with things. And so I know at one point I was going to get fired, and now I'm not. And so I know how all this works. And the reality is, man, we're 5-7. We got 5 to go here. And, man, this is a big 5-game stretch for us. And we're getting better. And that's really all it is right now,
And that's Dan Campbell talking about the fans and our overreactions to them. Ryan, Ermanni, Lindsey Hunter in for Braylon, Tom Mazawey. We got Fletch and Flannel off to the side, Stick and Raj here at the Big Boy location in Wyandotte on Biddle.
Raj is here just in case any breaking Tiger news comes through.
I love it.
In case we have to sign anyone big.
Let's not hold our breath for that. Raj is not holding his breath for that to happen. But nonetheless, I would get into Dan Campbell a little bit because this is a 5-game stretch, and we have talked about the peaks and valleys of Lions fans, and I'll speak for myself. 5 weeks ago, I was questioning whether or not this was different. I was questioning whether or not, okay, we like this coach, but his record is what the record is. They're 1-6. They're no different from any of the other Lions coaches. Why should we think that they're on the right track this time? Because we like the guy, and we've seen that they have put it together. They have strung some wins together. It does feel different because now they're winning, too. It's going along with that. You like Dan Campbell.
I do. Ever since the first interview when he was talking about taking chunks of knees, chunks of arms and legs, I was like, who is this guy? So I love the meathead aspect about Dan Campbell. And, because so many times in the NFL, we get the wonder boy coaches. We have one in San Francisco, Shanahan. Yeah, we get the geniuses. They all are geniuses now.
Yep.
But it's time to get back to the meathead guys. I like the guys who, we're just talking about football. I've never heard him spew out a stat one time.
Right?
All I've heard him say is, we're playing better defense and we're flying to the ball.
You know, you're a guy. You've obviously been in coaching. You've been in coaching a lot.
Yes.
Over the course of the last decade and a half.
He's going to be the Pistons' next coach, of course.
And look at Maz. Look at Maz. We're not going to start anything, but we'll start some stuff. But again, does a guy like that, because everybody's got the X's and O's, right? Everybody. Can you relate to your players or can't you?
Right.
Will guys follow you? And we always say through a brick wall or whatever.
Right.
You know, are guys going to follow you? Can you relate to your players? Does it speak to that type of attitude and not being a guy that's all buttoned up and just going to say, "Let's go crush them, team"? You know what I mean?
I think it's, you know, of course, him getting the type of players that he wants in his culture, and being yourself. Because we all look at the great coaches and, oh, man, I want to be like, you know, Bill Belichick. I want to be like this guy. But you have to be yourself. Now, there are aspects of those guys that you can always pull from because they're great. And you always want to emulate greatness. But you still have to be genuine to those guys in order for them to say, you know what, my coach is real. He'll speak the truth to me, and I want to play for this guy. And I think that's what he's captured.
No doubt about it. And Tom Mazawey.
I'm a fan. I've told you. But he has to improve on his in-game decisions. Obviously, he's got a long way to go. Next year, he can't make the mistakes that he's made this year. He can't make that mistake he made in Minnesota. He can't make that mistake that he did in Dallas, not throwing a red flag on that spot of the ball or just rushing up to the line to get a play in. You can't make a mistake like he did in Buffalo on Thanksgiving Day. There were a lot of mistakes that they made. Clock management. If he gets better on that, he's got everything else that you would want. All you got to do is surround yourself with good people that make you look smart. He's got a great offensive coordinator. And I'll tell you what, his defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, I always liked this guy. Hell, I wanted him fired too. And you know what? He's come back like a champ. He really has.
Yeah, and you have to give we always talk about staffs too. I mean, this staff that he put together,
Deuce Staley.
You got to give these guys a lot of credit. They're playing good football, and they have earned the right to have this Vikings game be a big game. And they have earned the right to get the fans behind them. The Detroit Lions organization has earned the right to line up against the Vikings and get the best out of the fan base as well. I want to play Dan Campbell for you talking about those Minnesota Vikings, who, by the way, again, as I mentioned at the top of the show, the Lions have gone from a 1.5 point underdog in this one to about a 2.5 point favorite.
That's huge.
That is a huge swing in the NFL. Smart money got the Lions on this one.
Yes, because they're still winning. They're still winning. So I would say it's a better version of what they were because they've continued to win. This is a winning team. They found ways to win. That's what they do. And those are the hard teams, you know, because they've done it against multiple opponents, different ways. Special teams, offense, defense, they're finding ways to win.
That's one of the ways that the line. We talk about this with Michigan a lot, Lindsey. They can beat you in a number of different ways.
Right.
The Lions are getting to that point. They can win a 19-17 game. They can win a 40-32 game. And they can do that as well because when your defense is improving and you're a guy that knows a little something about defense, if you can play that lockdown defense, if you give your offense one more possession, if you give your offense another chance to win, that's a way to get it done too. The more ways you can win a particular game, the better you're going to be down the stretch.
Absolutely. You can just look at my 49ers, for example. Our defense is almost impeccable until we have two defensive linemen missing.
Lindsey, the 49ers have only given up more than 20 points twice.
Yes.
It's week 13. More than 20.
And they're not even 100% yet on defense.
No, we're still missing two of our interior defensive linemen. But to jump on that, watching them play the way they're playing, you give your offense a lot of room for error. And I think the Lions are getting to the point where defensively they're playing well enough. And offensively has never been a problem. They were lights out from the beginning of the season offensively. They were lighting the scoreboards up. So now the defense is coming around. And to Dan Campbell's credit, to make the changes during the season with the coaches the way he did and to turn it around, is crazy.
And part of that, too, part of what they've been able to do is to put us in a situation to feel good about, where are we here, December 7th today, Maz? What was one of the things that the only thing you wanted was to be on the graphic.
Right.
That's the only thing you wanted to be on the
sneaking in, hanging around, people talking about us. Listen, they made the Lions a favorite over a 10-win team. So they're for real.
Right.
Say what you want. Nationally, in Vegas, where it counts the most, they're a for real team.
And part of that, too, not only Dan Campbell, but it's about the quarterback. Jared Goff has played pretty darn good. And something has clicked over the last month and a half where he's not turning the football over. He is in sync with his offensive coordinator. Jared Goff got some love from Dan Campbell as well. Here is Dan Campbell on Jared Goff.
Every week has been really a little bit different job description, believe it or not. You know, what we've asked him to do or what we've needed him to do. But here's the one consistent is, man, just make the right decisions, take care of the football. And he's done that. And that's 5 weeks going now. And that's a big part of the reason why we're winning.
This league is so close. And we did a stat a couple of weeks ago that the margin of victory, I think through 11 weeks, so this was a couple of weeks ago, margin of victory through 11 weeks was its closest as it's been since the 1930s.
Wow.
1 play, 2 plays, 3 plays in an entire football game determining whether or not you win or whether or not you lose. So when the league is that close, Lindsey, you got a situation, too, where you just cannot turn the ball over. And right now, the Lions have not done that. In the game that they did do it, when Jamal Williams fumbled against the Bills, what happened?
And
They
Dallas.
lost. That mattered.
And Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Jared Goff has been playing outstanding. And I think yesterday on the show we were talking about, I told them I would take him over Garoppolo. I would take him over Jimmy G.
Yeah, you know what?
Right now, today.
Well, yeah, Jimmy G's got a broken
if they're
foot.
healthy,
Right.
if they're healthy, man. Both guys being healthy,
I don't hate it, Lindsey.
I would
I
take
don't
Jared
hate that,
Goff
yeah.
right now, just watching how he's progressed, watching the decisions he makes. You know, and I like Garoppolo, but it just seems like every time we get under pressure, he just makes a bonehead play or just throws the ball somewhere where he shouldn't. And I've seen it for 4 years now.
Right.
So I would take Goff.
I'll tell you this about Goff and Jimmy G. Comparing them back in the beginning of the year, I would have been all over taking Jimmy G.
Right.
But seeing how Goff has really taken a liking to Ben Johnson. You see Ben Johnson and him. He rushed to Ben Johnson last week after they played that near-perfect game against the Jags. It was a perfect game. They didn't punt. And he hugged him, bear hugged him from behind. That's real.
Right.
That's real. When you're hugging your coach, Lindsey,
Right.
if you're going out of your way to hug your coach, what does that mean?
Yeah, that means you believe and you like the
Yeah.
guy. You actually care for him. Because I don't think there are many coaches I've ever hugged.
There you go. How about
I know
Doug
a few
Collins?
you haven't.
Did you hug Doug Collins?
Oh, man.
I hugged Larry Brown.
Yeah, you hug Larry Brown. Maz woke up and chose violence. Guys, we're going to take a break. We are live at Big Boy in Wyandotte on Biddle. Great partners of ours here at Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Lindsey Hunter in for Braylon this week. We're going to come back. We'll have Ari Meirov. Lots going on. Breaking news in the NFL today from Pro Football Focus. We'll talk to Ari. We'll do it next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. Winter time is here.
Stay out.
That means spending more time outside? I don't think so. You're going to want to be inside, whether you are at home or on the road. Our friends at Guardian Alarm, they're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what is important to you stays safe. Call that number above my head right now, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Yeah.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff a Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward and Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff a Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
Hey, it's Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency, and SMA wouldn't be who we are without our amazing partners.
Thank you so much, Sean. You know, at Detroit Wayne, we want to serve as a resource for you and your families. We offer mental health services, substance use disorder services throughout our communities, and we want to be that source and resource within the community.
If you or a loved one are suffering from a mental health or substance abuse issue, please don't hesitate to call 1-800-241-4949.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Hey guys, we're at Big Boy in Wyandotte, Biddle Road here.
Big Jim.
Let me tell you something. Ryan found out exactly what the Big Jim is really about today.
I did not know what the Big Jim was until I had it today.
The Big Jim is literally a Slim Jim and a Big Boy
combined.
Outstanding.
I just thought it was a bigger Slim Jim. It is not.
We had the fries, the loaded fries. Sam, he had the chili cheese fries. Fletch is working on the regular fries. Never mind, they're gone. They had chocolate shakes. They had vanilla shakes. I had, of course, the patty melt, which is my favorite.
Oh, my
Lindsey,
gosh, the patty
fish
melt.
and chips. Outstanding. Get on down
the
here.
Garlic and oil salad dressing, Maz.
Ryan
the
killed
best.
the salad with the garlic and oil dressing. He just loves it. He actually did a great job on that thing. Come on down and see us. Big Boy, come on down. We're on Biddle Road in Wyandotte. We're going to be here till 4. Remember, satisfy your taste buds at Big Boy.
Let me just say this about the Big Jim, and this is a totally legitimate thing here. And I'm not just saying this because we're at Big Boy. I thought the Big Jim was just a bigger version of the Slim Jim.
So did I.
It is not that. It is a Slim Jim and a Big Boy sandwich combined. Might be one of the greatest sandwiches I've ever had in my life, Lindsey Hunter. Unbelievable. I absolutely devoured it, and I haven't been eating a ton of food lately. You know, I'm on my custom health center program, weight loss program, and we're doing pretty good. But I had to get the Big Jim today because we run all those promotions. As Maz said, we are at Big Boy in Wyandotte on Biddle Road, and we invite all of you to come out. Check out the great staff here. Everybody is so friendly. You walk in, you're greeted. It's always a good time. Lindsey Hunter on the big desk today. Braylon is going to be out the rest of the week doing some business, traveling for business, so we certainly appreciate Lindsey to be here. Tom Mazawey is with us, Fletch and Flannel. We are having some trouble getting in Ari Meirov. We will try to get him moving forward, but some big news in the NFL today. Von Miller tore his ACL, Lindsey, and that is pretty devastating for the Buffalo Bills. And really, you feel bad for Von Miller more than anybody else. But, of course, obviously, now the Bills take a big shot there.
They do. I think that that makes them a little more vulnerable. And they've been etching out games of late anyway.
Sure.
Without that dominant pass rush, it's going to be tough for them to stay at that high level. I think they still can win because their quarterback is just awesome.
Sure.
but I think it's going to be a little tougher for them.
You know, Von Miller is a guy that chooses in the offseason to go play for Buffalo to win a Super Bowl championship with the third different team. I don't believe anybody's ever done that in the history of the game.
Right.
So you'd feel bad about that. But this really, Buffalo comes in, and even as far as last week, was seen as a Super Bowl favorite.
Yes.
Man, I don't know now if you have to go into Kansas City and play against Patrick Mahomes, and you have to do that without Von Miller. And Maz, do we have Ari? Oh, okay.
All right,
great.
we had some difficulties, but I think we're good to go.
All right, Ari Meirov, Pro Football Focus, joining us now on Twitter at My Sports Update. One of our favorite guests here,
no doubt,
on the show. Ari, first of all, thank you for the time, my friend. We certainly appreciate it. And then, of course, the breaking news today, Von Miller torn ACL. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, thanks for having me on again. But, yeah, it's obviously very, very surprising, especially considering how this all unfolds. Because usually when there are ACL tears, I mean, the doctors on the field quickly do a test, and they're able to usually know if there's an ACL tear there. This one was a little bit different where there was significant swelling, and they really couldn't tell exactly what was going on. So they waited a few days, and they came to the conclusion that it might be a meniscus issue, which could return by the end of the season. And then, yesterday he goes through a surgery, and they basically find out that there is an ACL tear, the second time in his career. The last time this happened was about 10 years ago, and he's now out for the year. But a complete gut punch for Buffalo because, frankly, they signed into that big contract in the offseason specifically for the playoffs when they have to play the teams like the Cincinnati or, of course, Kansas City, who has knocked them out the last 2 years. So they'll obviously be back in the playoffs this year, but they'll essentially be doing it with the same roster they fielded last year when they faced Kansas City, and they won't have that quote-unquote closer on the field for them.
Ari, we were just talking about that, too. I mean, just a real gut punch to Buffalo because you are going to have to go into Kansas City most likely to go to the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl goes through Kansas City probably, and to do that without Von Miller, can they still get it done? I'm sure, but this is a big hit to them.
No, it definitely is. And, I was a bit surprised, not really surprised, but throughout the offseason, it was just odd to me that everyone immediately just crowned the Bills as the AFC favorites. Like, if they were in the NFC, fine, I kind of get it. But the AFC is just so stacked with so many good rosters, so many young, talented quarterbacks. The Chiefs have been there, done that the last couple of years. Obviously, you have Cincinnati. We all thought the AFC West would be much better. Their own division with Miami, the Jets. You never knew of the Patriots coming into the year. So it was a bit odd to me that we just went all in. Oh, they got Von Miller, and that's it. They are the ones. I still think they're a very, very good team, and you cannot obviously rule them out, especially when you have a quarterback like Josh Allen. But, losing Von Miller is big, and we've seen it over these last few weeks. Cincinnati is getting hot. Kansas City has given them problems in the playoffs the last couple of years. Anything could happen, especially in the AFC, not just now, but for the next 5, 10, 15 years, just because of all the great quarterbacks that are in that conference.
Hey, Ari, let's go over to the NFC and the San Francisco 49ers, who I personally crowned the Super Bowl champions when they signed Christian McCaffrey.
Crown them then.
I'm telling you, I really believed in this team. I love their defense. I like Kyle Shanahan. I love what Jimmy G was doing. Now he goes down. And you have Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, as your starting quarterback. I was a little surprised that they didn't put a bid in for Baker Mayfield. I'm a Baker Mayfield guy. I'm probably the only one here in Detroit, maybe the only one on this side of the country that still thinks he's got something to do. But the Rams put in the only bid for him. Two-part question. Why'd the Rams pick him up? And secondly, what are the 49ers going to do? Are they really going to go with what they have?
Yeah, let me start with the whole waiver wire process because, I found it a bit interesting that everyone was surprised the 49ers didn't put in a claim. The 49ers really didn't have to put in a claim. And let me explain what I mean. They were 25th on the waiver wire.
Right.
So if Baker was going to get to them in the first place, he probably would have gone past them and past everybody in that scenario. And if that happens, then he becomes a free agent and you're able to sign him for the minimum, which is $300,000.
Gotcha.
Instead of paying 1.3, you get it for $1 million less. And
Okay.
he would have been signed probably to the practice squad and eventually elevated up to be the backup. That would have been the scenario. So them not claiming him did not really surprise me. But as for the Rams, I think there's a few elements of this. First of all, they don't have a first-round pick coming up next year. You guys have that, which is going to be most likely a top 5 pick there in Detroit.
It better be.
So losing really doesn't really help them in this scenario right now. So if anything, they need to win. Nextly, they have 4 consecutive standalone games coming up. They're on Thursday night this week. They have a Monday night game up. They have a Christmas Day coming up. They have a Sunday night game coming up. They're going to be on TV a lot where everyone's going to be watching. So there's a bit of a reason where you probably don't want to put out there John Wolford and Bryce Perkins and no Aaron Donald and no Cooper Kupp. At least let's get Baker Mayfield in there. And then thirdly, Sean McVay actually really liked Baker Mayfield during the draft process. A few people like Jeff Darlington and a few other people have mentioned back in 2018 how much Sean McVay talked about Baker Mayfield throughout the draft process. And he actually told Baker Mayfield that if I did not have Jared Goff, who at the time they were tied together, I would definitely try to get you. So it looks like it's somebody who he liked back then, and you're getting him for, again, $1.3 million for 5 games. Get him in the building. Let's see what happens. And worst case scenario, he leaves as a free agent, able to get a compensatory pick, which is something the Rams really take seriously. So I think that's why LA put the claim for him.
Here's another two-parter for you on the quarterbacks. Do you personally think Baker Mayfield can be salvaged? I thought a guy like Kyle Shanahan, obviously Sean McVay is right in that wheelhouse too. Do you think he could be salvaged and made into the quarterback that he once looked like he could be with the Browns? And part two, does Matthew Stafford, is he like playing it out? Is he going to retire? Any chance of that at all?
On Baker Mayfield, listen, I don't know about him being let's just say he becomes, he's going to become a free agent this offseason. We'll see what he does with the Rams. I don't know if there are any teams that are going to go out there and say, you know what, we're going to go out and give you the starting job right away.
Ari Maz is never going to let it go. Ari Maz is never. He's going to keep asking the question until somebody agrees with him that Baker Mayfield is good.
I would just say this, though. This is for Maz. I will just say this. We saw this past offseason a quarterback who was picked number 2 overall, who did not do well in Chicago, went to Buffalo for 1 year, and then got a starting job in Pittsburgh. We're talking about Mitchell Trubisky. So that could be the route, where he signs as a backup somewhere, maybe gets some playing time eventually, becomes a free agent next offseason after this one, and teams need quarterbacks, and they'll take a flyer on him and become the bridge quarterback for them. So, listen, we've seen quarterbacks for years now who some way, somehow find a way to be in the league for 16, 17 years. I mean, whatever you want to say, Josh McCown and a bunch of other people who somehow found a way to become quarterback. So Baker Mayfield could very much become that guy. So I'm not going to say that after this year or after next year he's done with football. I think there's always going to be that need for a quarterback. And knowing the way teams operate, if you are a high pick, teams just want to have you on because they believe what they saw when they evaluated you during the draft process. As for Matthew Stafford, I am actually a bit concerned with this injury because, as you guys all know, I mean, he's dealt with a lot he's played through a lot of it. And he did that also last year. And he started this year with some elbow concerns, which he somehow played through. And now he has this concussion. Then he has the next thing. And the way it was described by Sean McVay, a spinal contusion just doesn't really sound good. Again, I'm not really a doctor, so I'm probably not the right guy to talk about all of this. But as somebody who knows how his wife has talked in public in the past about Matthew Stafford's injuries, and he's up there in age, and he's made a lot of great money in his career. I would not be surprised if that discussion at least possibly comes up this offseason, and maybe the Rams putting in a claim for Baker Mayfield is a thing for them. Let's just see what this guy has, just in case something does happen with Matthew Stafford. So, looking back at that trade, they traded 2 first-round picks. They won a Super Bowl. That's really all that matters. But the second first-round pick will be a top 5 pick for Detroit. But I think if they did not win a Super Bowl last year, the way that trade we look back on, especially if Matthew does, call it a career, or this really does impact him, I think a lot of people will be looking at it very different.
Hey, Ari, I wanted to ask you a couple of league questions. First and foremost, we just saw it here with Major League Baseball. The Tigers, in a draft lottery, move up from 6th to 3rd in a draft lottery. The Houston Texans are in a situation in the NFL. Hell, they could lock up the first pick in the draft in the next couple of weeks. Do you anticipate an NFL draft lottery ever coming to that league?
The reason why I don't think it's going to happen is because unlike the NBA or MLB, where you are essentially able to tank, with the MLB, you don't have a salary cap where you have to spend a specific amount of money. There's obviously different types of rules about calling up players and manipulating all of it. The NFL, when you have 53 players where they could basically care less about where the draft position is, all we care about is putting on the right film. For us, when a lot of these players are going to become free agents eventually, they don't really care about all that stuff. They're going to put whatever they want on the field in order to show their next team what they're able to do. So the only way where tanking does happen, we've seen it happen before, most recently probably when Philadelphia played that Sunday night game, Week 17 against Washington. Remember, they pulled out Jalen Hurts, they put in Nate Sudfeld, and they lost on purpose. That could happen, of course, but to tank, for an entire season, like even tank for 2. Remember that whole thing with Miami? They eventually picked number 5 because they won like 3 straight games that year because Brian Flores was the new head coach and he got his players to play hard. Players are not going to tank. The people who tank will be the call from upstairs if that happens. So I don't think we've seen enough of that in the NFL. I mentioned Philadelphia. It once happened back with Tampa Bay and Jameis Winston when they wanted to pick him. But I don't think it happens enough, and it definitely does not happen over a full course of the season because, again, the players on the field could care less about the draft pick. A lot of these players are on one-year contracts. There's new players coming in every single year. They just have to put on good film so when they do become free agents, these other teams and personnel departments see what they do on the field if they want to sign them to another job. So, I just don't think it's ever going to come to the NFL. I don't think the NFL is interested in doing that.
Hey, Ari, I got another league question. How are we still tying in the National Football League? I mean, I feel like the Giants Commanders game last week killed the Lions. So selfishly, I hated
15 minutes.
I hated to see that them tie, but it's basically each team basically gets one possession in overtime. It's a terrible overtime. How are we still tying in this league?
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is that we've had a lot of instances where the players after the game, say, I never knew you could tie in football. I'm surprised that still happens, but we've seen plenty of players do that. I say that after the game. I think it's more of a health and safety thing, which has to go through the competition committee and all of that. I believe they once shrunk overtime from 15 minutes to 10 minutes. It's more of a health thing during the regular season. Just like we saw this past offseason, they announced that both teams are going to get possession in overtime in the playoffs, but that rule does not come into play during the regular season. It's more of a wear and tear on the body. I don't think the NFLPA would want to do that just because of the safety. And again, they made games from 16 games a year to 17 games a year. So adding more minutes to all these players is not something the NFL wants. If anything, it's only a thing for the playoffs, as I just mentioned with the rule change they made in regards to into both teams getting possession. So I think it's more of that type of a thing. But I do agree with you. It's a bit odd to have ties in football. I'm not a big soccer guy, but seeing all these draws in the World Cup is weird for me. But it is what it is. But that's more of an NFLPA type of a thing.
Hey, last two from me, Ari. First of all, can OBJ help anybody? Is he not going to be ready to help anybody? And part B, Lamar Jackson, is he going to be able to play? I know they say 1 to 3 weeks, but they lie. Tyler Huntley, I kind of like that kid. What's your take on the Baltimore and, of course, on OBJ?
Yeah, so OBJ, it was a bit of a signal to me that when he started taking these visits, first of all, it kept on being pushed off all the way till early December.
Right.
When it was announced that he's visiting with the Giants, Cowboys, and Bills, but he's not working out for them, I remember somebody mentioned to me that's odd, because usually whenever you have a player coming off an injury, you want to see him on the field. So when he just didn't do that, it was a bit of a signal, okay, is this guy still fully healthy? I know he's been medically cleared to do stuff on the field, but how is he going to be if he's out there for a full game where everyone is flying around and he has to do all the cutting and all of that? So hearing yesterday where Dallas, of course, a lot of leaks goes on over there, and we end up finding out from Jerry Jones that we might not be, taking this guy because we're not sure if he'll be able to play until mid-January, basically confirmed that there's a possibility that he might not be ready until the playoffs. And by then, we all know, getting a new receiver on the field and getting the chemistry with the quarterback is not that easy. So I'm curious to see what does happen here, but we saw for weeks all these Cowboys players and the owner and the coach and everyone talking and hyping up Odell Beckham Jr. And all of a sudden yesterday, Jerry Jones basically changed his tone. So I want to see where this goes. He is, looking through all the options now. I'm not sure if the Giants or Bills made an offer, but what I do know is coming into all of this, Odell wanted a multi-year contract. So he just had a baby. He wants to settle in a location. So they don't want to sign for, this season and become a free agent again. He wants to be in one place and that's it. And as of right now, I'm not sure if any team would do that. We'll see what happens the rest of this week. The other question with Lamar Jackson, whenever a team has a quarterback injury, they're always going to be a little bit more, especially when it's not a season-ending thing. They're going to try to, play it off a little bit and see where this goes. I would not expect him to play this week against the Steelers. And knowing the fact that this is a team that is on their way to the playoffs, I would expect them to be a little bit cautious with Lamar Jackson. And I would expect Lamar Jackson, who does not have an agent, to be cautious himself as well, knowing that he's going to become, he's entering a contract year, and he obviously wants that long-term contract. So 1 week at the minimum, but I would not be surprised if it's a little bit more than that considering the circumstances right now.
Ari, a question for you about my guy, Mr. Irrelevant, Purdy, down in San Francisco. I'm hearing scouts say that he can do everything that Trey Lance can do. So it's not a no-brainer that Trey Lance will beat him out even next year when they come back.
Well, we're jumping very far over here. Listen, we've only seen Brock Purdy for a little bit. The Dolphins this past week were preparing for Jimmy Garoppolo, and then Brock Purdy, who I'm sure they got some scouting on him during the week's report, but I doubt the players were ready to see Brock Purdy or probably never heard of him. So I'm sure, the 49ers are playing the Buccaneers this week. They're coming off a short week. I think we got to see Brock Purdy play a little bit to know exactly what we have over here. But if Brock Purdy comes out as the last pick in the draft and every single team passed on him and all of a sudden becomes this great thing in his rookie year, in some ways somehow does something great for San Francisco, I would imagine all 49ers fans and probably Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch will be more than happy to keep him around again. He's on a 4-year contract making basically nothing. So we'll see what happens as the games go on. But I think everyone has to calm down a little bit. Let's see him in a full game. Let's see 2-3 games, and we'll see what we have out of this guy.
Hey, Ari, thanks so much for the time, buddy. And speaking of calming down, I think the city of Detroit, the Lions fans, after this four wins in 5 weeks, we don't know what to do with ourselves.
Guys, Detroit is on the way up. I've been saying this. I love this team. I think they're on the way up. I don't know if it's playoffs this year, but look at where you guys are at in the draft. Look at how you've been doing the last couple of years with this new regime. Detroit, you guys are going to have good football very soon. Be excited.
Hey, Ari, we love it.
We're favored this week.
I called it 10-7. 10-7. They're winning out.
Here we go.
All right.
Thanks, Ari.
Ari, thanks so much, my friend. Follow Ari on Twitter at MySportsUpdate. Also, you can check him out, Pro Football Focus. We certainly thank him. And I want to explore something that he said about Matthew Stafford a little bit more. My goodness.
I'm telling you, man.
That is a conversation that will take place in the offseason regarding Matthew Stafford, and will he or will he not hang it up? A conversation, at least, going to be had there probably. Guys, we're going to take a break. Come right back when we do.
Baker lives.
Oh, God, Tom Mazawey. You know who else is doing some living?
Who?
Me. Thanks to Custom Health Centers. Get your customized approach to weight loss. Think of all the ways that weight affects your health, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Custom Health Centers has been blessed to have over 20,000 success stories. I am certainly one of them. Rick Mahorn, Eddie Murray, just a couple of more names to throw in the mix. You know Rick Mahorn well, Lindsey. Absolutely. Horn. Start losing weight today. Call Dr. Jason and Custom Health, 844-789-THIN. That number again, 844-789-THIN.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Time to talk about Phillips.
Is that you, Flannel?
That is me.
Yeah,
but I'm
baby.
not talking about former Houston Oilers head coach Bum Phillips. We're, of course, talking about Michael Phillips. Looking to buy or sell your home, whether you're a player or a fan, helping you buy, sell, or invest is Michael Phillips's top priority. Being in the game for 23 years makes Mike the #1 option for anyone. If you have real estate needs, call Michael Phillips at 313-403-0011. That is 313-403-0011.
Welcome back. We are live at Big Boy here on Biddle in Wyandotte. Ryan Ermanni, Lindsey Hunter in for Braylon Edwards for the rest of the week. Having a great time here.
You better ask him.
Oh, my gosh. Stick, you are unbelievable. Thank you, buddy. Oh, my gosh, to get There you go. Tom Mazawey in the house as well. Great work by Fletch there on the pivot. You know what? I like to give people credit when their credit is due. Fletch, great job getting that graphic up on the fly. We expected to have Ari on the camera, and it was a little bit of a pivot there thanks to technical difficulties. But he did a nice job there. Lindsey, Maz has been on this Baker Mayfield thing. Okay, it is almost like a bit now. But here's a small caveat. Maybe, just maybe, the Rams think they can do something with this guy.
They do.
Just in case Stafford decides to hang it up.
He will.
At the end of the season.
So maybe. But I'm hearing comparables like Johnny Manziel.
Well, you're hearing the wrong thing. Stop talking to Larry Brown.
Well, that's what I'm hearing. But I was a Mayfield fan for. I like him. I think he could probably be a good backup. But like I told you, man,
not a backup.
His best season was like his peak was top 12. That was his peak.
Hey, he got the Browns to the precipice of the AFC Championship game.
Hey,
he can do it.
Maz, all jokes aside, though, when you asked Ari if Matthew Stafford would retire after this season.
I believe that because of Kelly Stafford, though, what she's been putting the signals out there, man. She's been putting it out there. Remember about a month ago when he first got concussed, she was very nervous. She spoke up, and she has her podcast every Monday, and she speaks about it. I'm nervous for my husband. He's got the bad elbow. He's got the bad neck, the back. You heard him. It's not good.
Now
he's already won his Super Bowl.
Right? Now he's been concussed. He's got a spinal. Did they say it was a spinal contusion?
Yes.
Yeah.
That the man's taking a beating. Thanks to us.
You've made more money than you or your grandchildren could spend.
Yeah.
You won your Super Bowl. Everybody in LA is going to love you because you already won that Super Bowl.
Right.
You are probably more loved here than you've ever been loved in your entire career.
Right.
What more is there to play for? But Ari Meirov said, quote, "I would not be surprised if that discussion comes up. Without the benefit of a first-round draft pick next year, why not pick up a guy like Baker Mayfield to see if this offensive genius in Sean McVay can do something with Baker Mayfield?" And we can make fun and we can have the debate about you and Baker Mayfield, your love for Baker Mayfield, all we want. But on a serious note, Matthew Stafford, what is there to come back for?
Just the money, I guess, if you want to make more money, but you've already done
to maybe
so well
solidify a Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can look at an example is Tom Brady. Why is Tom Brady still playing?
Well, he's in perfect health.
I mean, I guess
the guy lives in a hyperbaric chamber. The guy makes his own clothes. The guy, he's just something else. I don't want to put flannel on right now to talk about Brady. All right, but the man, he just lives well. He married a witch. Giselle was a witch. She got him through the 20-plus years of the NFL. She put like her spell on him, but it's kind of wearing off. But the guy just keeps showing up. I don't know. Maybe he found another witch or whatever. But Brady is different. You can't compare him to anybody. You can't.
True, but yet and still, some of these guys are football players for a reason.
Yeah.
And no matter what, they want to try. And I don't know, how Matthew Stafford is wired. I don't know if he's wired like a Brady who, man, I'm just going to go try it again.
Yeah.
Some guys are like that. Some guys just, some guys will walk away from it,
Yeah, the head is the different. That's the difference maker.
And the back, bro.
The head and the back. Can you walk and can you think?
Right.
You know what I mean? The head that becomes into a different realm. That's an interesting thought, Tom. I did not consider that.
I truly believe in my heart that he's going to retire.
And nobody could fault him for that.
No, we saw Andrew Luck walk away. I mean, he never had concussions, but he was having other issues.
Sure.
But it was too much for him.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
You got that spectrum, and then you got the other guys who just want to play.
Tom Mazawey, I said, what do you want to do next? And you said, I got it. I got it. So what do you want to do next, Tom?
I'm going to talk basketball with Lindsey Hunter.
We're
going to go deep into the Piston lore. We're gonna uncover some things with that 04 team. Why didn't they win 2-3 in a row? And Lindsey's gonna tell us a couple of tidbits. I got a hunch. You got a hunch.
All right, we're gonna go deep. Story time with Lindsey Hunter. Can't wait for that. we're gonna ask the questions. But first, a message from Moneyball.
And no, not the phenomenal movie about the Oakland A's starring Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill, but something just as good, if not even better, Moneyball Sportswear. Check out Moneyball Sportswear. It's your one-stop shop. Whether you want the latest look in athletic apparel or you need new uniforms for your team, Moneyball has it all. Shop at Moneyball's showroom in Southfield and experience the only way to ball. Or visit moneyballsportswear.com.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff-A Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward in Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff-A Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
All right, time to talk about Swiss Insurance. With the holiday season here, Swiss Insurance wants to remind you to insure those gifts of jewelry or collectibles. In the last 2 weeks, Swiss has saved its clients an average of 26% on their insurance premiums while increasing coverage. That's a lot of money to free up for the giving season. Happy Thanksgiving from Swiss Insurance, and go blue. Hey, it's me again. The Midway has swapped roller skating, basketball, and mini golf for a giant Arctic slide, winter bumper cars, an indoor arcade, and puck putt. Buckle up for a bumpy ride, go for a spin, and try not to spin on our slick rink, brought to you by Rollercade. The Arctic slide, have an Arctic blast. Ride an inner tube from the down the 20-foot-high, 80-foot-long slide, brought to you by Come Play Detroit. How about some puck putt? Go for a goal in one. Grab a hockey stick and shoot the puck into each net along the 9-part course, brought to you by Come Play Detroit. The Midway Arcade, get in the games. Try your hand at shooting hoops, beating supervillains, and more.
Oh, you ain't going to beat me, though, in hoops. Remember when I was down at that Midway?
You were draining threes, man.
Don't
like
mess
Curry.
with me.
Like Curry, man.
Raining threes.
Making it rain. And how about food favorites? Everybody loves food. Warm up with toasty treats. We're serving up burgers, pierogies, homemade chili chicken sandwiches, and mac and cheese bites, plus gluten-free and vegan goodies. And how about Santa? You can come see Santa. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Santa, smile and say freeze. Santa's showing up for photos from November 18th to December 22nd on Thursdays and Fridays from 4 to 8 p.m. and on Saturdays and Sundays from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Coming soon, the Woodward Sports Winter Olympics. Oh, boy.
Oh, you don't want to face me.
No, I certainly don't. You'll be able to compete against Darren McCarty, Braylon Edwards, Adam Baydoun, Ryan Ermanni, and all the Woodward Sports family. Lindsey Hunter. I don't want to face him in basketball. In Monroe Street Midway games, I would get destroyed.
Ben Wallace.
Hey, I'd get destroyed by him,
Flannel ain't taking no charge.
Absolutely not. He would kill me in it with one hand. Check out deckedoutdetroit.com for all your winter fun information.
So this Monroe Street Midway, by the way, if you have not been down there, this place is phenomenal. And Lindsey, let me tell you, we were down there over the summer, and there was this 3-point shooting contest. It's like 95 degrees out there.
Perfect.
And they see this 5'9.5", 230-pound white guy, me. Doesn't look like I got an athletic bone in my body. I said, give me that ball. They said, where you want to shoot from? NBA 3-point range. I mean, I didn't even hit the rim. I mean, it went right through. People were going crazy.
Flannel probably thinks Curry's overrated.
Right, overrated.
Let him
Curry,
tell it.
top 10?
Yeah.
He's not a top 100 player.
If you have never been to the Midway, definitely check it out. Downtown Detroit, nothing like it right now. And we certainly appreciate their partnership here with Woodward Sports.
My girls go down there. They go ice skating, and it's a fun time. The only thing they're missing is remember the old zip line you used to go down back in the day, Marian? Remember that zip line?
I do.
They need one of those. That was at the Winter. What was it?
Yeah,
the Winter Fest?
Blast. I think the Winter Blast is now. It's not in Detroit anymore.
I know.
Guys, we are live at Big Boy in Wyandotte on Biddle. We certainly appreciate everybody here. I had the big gym today. I've been talking about that like it's nobody's business because I'm just
the big gym.
So happy about it. It's a combination Slim Jim, Big Boy, so good, mouth watering. But we've got people pulling the popcorn emojis out on the chat here because Tom Mazawey promised story time with Lindsey Hunter, and that is what we're going to do right now.
Hey, I'll first of all let's start with this day in Pistons. All right, these new Pistons. Let's face it, the youngest team in the league, Troy Weaver building them. It's had 3 drafts. The first draft, you kind of look back at and say, oh, maybe, I don't know, maybe it could have been better. The second draft, obviously, with Cade, he's hurt this year, but he's going to be a player. And then you get Ivy and you get, I'm sorry, who's my man? Who's my center?
Isaiah Stewart?
Yeah.
Oh, Duran. Sorry.
So they're on the up. They're on the up, but they got a long way to go in the East. The East is the beast now. The East, they got some major teams now in the NBA Eastern Conference, and for them to crawl up and try to get up there, they need another draft or two. Hopefully, they're going to get a top pick in this next year's draft. But let's start with this year's Pistons. What's your take on them going forward, Lindsey?
Well, I like the young core. I really like the young core. And the guys you just mentioned, Ivy and Cade and Duran, you have a great young nucleus that you can build around. And as they get older, as they get more experience, they'll be fine. Add a couple of veterans. Like you said, we'll probably get some more picks.
Yeah.
I think the sky's the limit for this team in the future, but you can't expect these young guys to carry us right now. I think everybody has to be patient and watch their growth. And that's what I'm enjoying right now because I know the fruits of their labors is years ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Right now they're learning the league. They're learning what they can and can't do. They're learning what they have to get better at. And that's what we're watching. We're watching that process right now.
And the coach that they currently have, we all love him. He's a good man, plays by the rules, old school. Hell, I'm old school. But this new young squad that they have, these young kids coming out. Tom Izzo has a hard time getting through to these guys. Juwan Howard was brought into Michigan because, let's face it, Juwan Howard is he's still not that far away from where these kids are coming from. Is it time this year, the following year? When's it time to maybe make a move? Dwayne Casey goes up to maybe help Troy Weaver in the office, and you get a younger man in there to help these kids. And do you have anybody in mind?
Great question. I just think in today's sports in general, you have to find a way to connect with these guys, and it's not easy. They're different than our generation. They're different than 40-year-olds. They're a lot different, but I think there are ways that you can connect. I think even watching Dan Campbell, the way he's connected with his group of guys, he's dealing with a lot of young guys. Popovich coaching now, he's the last of the last, and I think he finds ways to relate, whether that's hiring young, assistants or whatever the case may be. I think they have to figure that part out. But I like what they have, and I think, they have to go within the organization to figure out what direction they want to go in, how they want to approach it, because that is a big concern.
Now, I brought up Jerry Stackhouse's name. We had Stack in studio a few months back when the teal jerseys were brought back. I know you love those. Anyway,
you hate the teal, don't you?
Disgusting.
You're the red, white, and blue Pistons.
Yeah, give me the old red, white.
You don't even like horsepower, do you? You like
it's terrible.
Just the plain old Pistons on the ball. That's what you like.
Hey, that's
okay.
what I like.
So when we had Stack in, I asked him on the side, hey, man, I know you got a great gig now. You took your team to the NIT finals last year. You like the college game, man. Did you see him lose it last week? By the way,
yes, I did.
On the sideline,
yes, I did.
He's got that right. dog in him. There's no question about it.
Right.
But I asked you, do you think he'd be a fit here? And you don't think that he'd probably leave a college gig?
Not right now. I of course, I still talk to Stack, and I think I asked him about it this summer when there was a bunch of jobs open, and he was like, "No, why would I leave this? I got it made right here."
Yeah.
And a lot of college coaches in great situations won't, and I think it all depends on the success you've had too. If you've ran your race in college and you've had some success and you've gotten to a Final Four or maybe won a national championship, then I can see you looking towards the pro. I think who did it at Michigan before?
Beeline.
Yeah. Beeline had a lot of success at Michigan. Got to the finals. Final Four. Had a lot of guys go pro. And he wanted to step into the NBA, Of course, it didn't, work out the way I think he wanted it to. But a lot of guys want to try after they've exhausted, I think, their college experience.
You've coached in college and the NBA.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't know if this is a fair question or not because I'm sure each has its own challenges. But, what is a better job, or is it just a different job?
I think you can't say which one is better. It's like, what situation are you in? Is it a better situation? Do you have people in your corner that's really supporting you? That's the bigger thing. If you have a front office that's in total support of you, they're giving you everything you need. If you're in college, you got an AD that's totally supporting you and giving you everything you need, then that's the best situation.
Yeah.
And I think that matters more than anything else.
Since you've been on the inside of that, and a sports fan would generally just look at any situation and say, "Oh, the general manager gets along with the head coach, and the athletic director loves the head coach." It is not always, and we've seen it a lot with the Detroit Lions, right? I mean, this is the first time that the Lions seemingly have a head coach and a general manager who are working together.
Yeah.
How rare is that?
It's rarer than a lot of people think.
Yeah,
it's
right?
rarer than a lot of people think because situations change all the time. And I've seen presidents come in with GMs, and one day the president wakes up and decides he doesn't like the GM. And now the GM's gone.
Right.
And now you have a coach there that's left, and you got a new GM coming in who decides, I want a new coach. So it's so many different variables that go into it. But when you find a rare situation where everybody's on the same page, you better cherish it.
Would you like to coach in the NBA again?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Depends on the situation.
Yeah, right. It's exactly.
But you want to coach.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. But it depends on the situation because I've seen a lot of bad situations and it's stressful.
What's harder on the family, being a player or being a coach?
Probably being a player. Because you're limited in what you can do with your family as a player. As a coach, you can take your family with you. So coaching is less stressful.
What happened? What's the latest? When's the last time you talked to Darko Milicic? What happened in 2005? All these questions.
And
Rasheed Wallace next.
And Joe.
But first, a message from SMA.
SMA. Unfortunately, my guy Fletch is going to need SMA after losing Whamageddon. But the sports marketing agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, help fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Schnarri, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com. as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Woodward Sports loves their lobster. Who doesn't? Cousin Maine Lobster. You got to love that. What better way to get your fix than Cousin's Maine Lobster? We were blessed with it last week when that truck rolled up to our studios in Birmingham. 2 trucks rolling around Detroit. You can be sure to find the best lobster rolls, lobster tots, and lobster tacos to power you through the day. I had the lobster grilled cheese and, of course, the lobster bisque, the New England clam chowder. Outstanding. Go to cousinsmainelobster.com and find that schedule today.
Today, all right, we are live at Big Boy in Wyandotte on Biddle. Come visit us. We're here to the top of the hour. And even so, come on out. Very friendly staff, and the food is fantastic. We're having some fun here with Lindsey Hunter. Lindsey's going to be joining us for the rest of the week. Braylon is out on some business that he has to take care of. So Lindsey graciously has agreed to sit with me and Tom, me more than Tom. But it's still all good. Fletch, Flannel in the house. Stick is here off to the side as well, making sure everything is all good. All right, Lindsey. We promised the people story time. We're going to continue story time with Lindsey. Darko Milicic. So many different ways to go, but when's the last time you talked to Darko?
He actually messaged me on Instagram, I think. And it was cool because I like Darko. Darko and I had a great relationship. But you know the story. He's farming. Yep. And he was actually doing some UFC fighting.
That's crazy, man.
He was.
When the Pistons took him 2 overall, what was the mood of the team?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Well, I think the mood didn't really change because we were so focused on having an opportunity to win. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of a afterthought, But I think initially it was a little like, okay, but we passed on this
Carmelo.
guy.
And a lot of people, and one of the reasons I ask you is because so many people will say, or at least an argument can be made, that if the Pistons took Carmelo Anthony, maybe you don't win a championship because, let me finish, because Tayshaun Prince's ascension would maybe have been stunted. You obviously disagree with that.
Totally disagree.
Yeah.
I think because as a rookie, of course, Larry Brown was going to make Carmelo earn that right to be a starter. Mm-hmm. But with the presence of a guy that was a 20-point scorer on any given night, a guy that you could just throw the ball to and he can go get you a bucket, when you have that, it changes the dynamics of your team. And then you add Rasheed Wallace, Carmelo Anthony, Rip Hamilton.
Wow.
I mean, look at that lineup. And I think –
can you say three-peat?
Right. Carmelo's career trajectory now probably matches up with LeBron's a little better because now he wins sooner. And Lord knows what happens after that. He wins a couple of titles here.
He might still be with Lala.
Look at this guy.
Right. You never know. He may never leave Detroit. And,
my God.
Things, you never know how things work out. But just to think about what we could have had with a guy like that. Or even, let's say, Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh was a 20-10 guy.
That's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, before he went to Cleveland and became kind of a third fiddle, he was the number one option. Miami, he was the number one option. So even that guy, and then maybe you take D Wade.
3 Hall of Famers taken after Darko. Right, God,
that poor guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not his fault. I don't fault Duck, or he didn't draft himself.
Could fault Tony Ronzoni or whatever his name was. Sorry.
One guy who did draft him, and Lindsey, you're one of the rare guys because you had the you bridged 2 eras of Pistons basketball. I mean, you had the Isaiah and Joe,
right,
and you had the going to work Pistons.
Right.
What about Joe Dumars? I mean, because here's a guy, it's been so long right now. He was beloved in this city, still is beloved in this city. It did not end well. We have not seen Joe Dumars at any championship celebration for the Bad Boys, for the going to work Pistons. We have not seen him in the new arena. Where is Joe Dumars, and obviously there's something going on between Joe D and the organization, and can that ever be repaired?
I think so. I think, nothing is ever, irreparable.
Yeah.
I think, he still lives here.
Mm-hmm.
So he still has a house here. So, he's in Detroit often. But you know how Joe is a very private guy.
Yeah.
Very private. If you don't know him, he'd probably never say 2 words but hi and bye to you.
Right.
Not meaning anything by that, but that's just how he is. So I can see why he's removed himself from, any public appearances or anything like that. He's just a different guy.
Yeah.
Man. Just really different.
I don't know if it was 2019 or what, but I was surprised that he wasn't at like the 15th anniversary of the championship. There is something sad about that, man.
There is.
I mean, there is.
It makes me sad because
as a fan.
he's beloved here in Detroit. Yeah. Look, we want to fire everybody, right? That's just the way sports fans are. When you're not winning, and then obviously you get that draft that Darko came in, and Joe's name is on that, so they all blame him. It's unfortunate. I just wish that he would maybe forget that bump in the road and be part of this Piston lore. His name hangs up in the rafters. I get the chills when at Little Caesars Arena at the beginning of games, the names come down, the banners come down. Just a side note, KB on our Woodward Sports Talk, Ken Brown, our man, wants to know, were you traded for Rasheed Wallace and then played with him later on?
I was traded to Boston, released by Boston, and came back to Detroit.
It wasn't for Rasheed then?
I don't know who it was for. But
okay.
All I know I got a call was like, oh, you're going to go to Boston, but they're going to release you. And
oh, my gosh.
I can't state the rest because it probably was illegal. But
oh, my gosh. That is so awesome.
There you go, KB. That's your answer.
Hey, Lindsey, what happened in 05? And 05 was, I mean, obviously so many people here in Detroit, well, you can't leave Robert Horry open. And if Robert Horry misses that shot, if Rasheed doesn't leave Robert Horry, if you win that championship, can you keep it going? Can you keep it going another year? Because I feel like that broke everybody.
I think so. We win that back-to-back. I don't think Larry Brown leaves.
Yeah. Right.
And we try again.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, it really did. It broke our spirits. It really did. Everybody was, we knew after we lost that game, we knew we could go to San Antonio and try to get one and maybe steal Game 7, which, but in San Antonio, Game 7 in the finals, man, you're asking a lot. You're asking a lot. And but we fought through it, and, we extended to 7 games, but we just didn't have enough.
Unbelievable, man. It's so great walking down memory lane. Some of the wins, some of the losses, and everything in between. I want to ask you, you won a championship with the Lakers, you won a championship with the Pistons. I'm probably like kids. You can't pick your favorite, but can you?
Oh yeah, definitely I can pick my favorite because it was
04?
fun beating the Pistons.
It
was fun beating the Lakers. Yeah,
yeah.
It was so much fun because I knew those guys.
Yeah,
and I knew how they kind of looked at us. And I think Rick Fox had made a statement after we split in L.A. Rick Fox made a statement saying that they were going to celebrate in Detroit.
Oh man!
Oh, we were like, what?
Yeah,
dude, no way.
The 5-game sweep.
The 5-game sweep.
Yeah, and we all read that he publicly said that. Oh yeah, we'll celebrate. We'll pop bottles in Detroit. And we were like, "Oh, you're coming to our locker room?"
Yeah.
Because there's no
That's
way.
awesome.
Want to ask you a little bit about today's NBA and more. What about Isaiah Thomas? Where's he been? We got a lot with Lindsey Hunter coming up next. But first, a message from the Foaling Warehouse.
Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. Great game, football and bowling. Matter of fact, my wife and her friends going there this Friday for a 50th birthday party. They're going to have a great time. They rented themselves a lane. $120 it costs you for 2 hours, but 10 or 12 people can get on a lane. You can also get in and play all day long for just $12.
Only
Plus,
$12?
That's it, $12 all day long. Come in when they open, get kicked out when they close. The bar is high, as Marty Morningweg used to say. They got over 100 beers to offer and the mystery, $2 mystery beer machine. So get on down there. Get your foal on at foalingwarehouse.com.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff-A Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward and Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff-A Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. What will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where you can work out in a
No
non-intimidating, no judgment, judgment-free
Oh my gosh, I better
atmosphere.
get there.
You better. The gym that has always been known for being clean is now cleaner than ever.
So clean.
Has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training, and you get all of this for only $10 a month.
Only $10?
Only $10.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness. Join today in club or online at planetfitness.com. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Thanks for that, Fletch and Flannel. Ryan Ermanni, Lindsey Hunter in for Braylon. He'll be here the rest of the week. Tom Mazawey here as well. I want to get into a little NBA this season. And we can start with LeBron. Your assessment of LeBron James and the Lakers, because there's so many different ways you could go with LeBron. He's a great player still, but
Right.
it's just, it just does not look right in LA right now.
No, but lately they've been decent.
Anthony
lately.
Davis has
been
stepping up.
phenomenal
Yep.
lately. I think they've thrusted him into the MVP conversation.
Right, wait till that toenail comes. Right?
He left sick last night.
Right, wait till his
They didn't play
fingernail.
last night, so.
Yeah.
But it's a long way to go for them. I think they're still trying to find themselves. But the West is thick. It's really thick out west. Even the Warriors are struggling to find themselves. They've been winning at home, but they've struggled on the road. They've had guys in and out of the lineup. And we've seen that from a bunch of teams that we consider contenders. The Clippers have had Paul George and
Kawhi
in and out of the lineup. So I think when everybody gets settled, next 20 games or so, we'll see exactly where everybody is.
Does LeBron finish in L.A.?
I think he does. I think he finishes in L.A., and I think he, tries to get one of his kids there.
Yeah. I mean, that's what he's waiting for, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he's waiting for.
That's a dream of his, to play with his boys.
Absolutely. Are you surprised the Boston Celtics have seemingly not skipped a beat the offseason they had with Ime Udoka?
Who is now getting a divorce with Nia Long.
No, they're not.
Well, they weren't married, right?
Well, they're separated. They're done.
They've never been married.
They broke up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They split.
Yeah,
I read that in the New York Porch.
Right. I'm not surprised that they've been right on schedule because they got to the finals last year with that exact team. They added Brogdon, who was a really, really solid piece. And they've matured. They've seen what it's like to go through it, and you can see the maturity in Jason Tatum with his play, and he's been phenomenal. I think, to me, he's leading the MVP votes right now.
Right.
Their team is winning, and he's carrying them.
I have equated, and maybe this is I totally could be off base on this, but I've always thought that Cade Cunningham could one day work himself into a Jason Tatum type player. Poor man's Jason Tatum. You see that, or what kind of comp would you give Cade Cunningham? If there's one that jumps out at you, if not, then not.
Cade's such a unique talent.
Yeah.
He's one of those not a point guard but can do a lot of point guard things type of guy. Tatum is different, man.
Yeah.
Tatum's like 6'9", 6'10".
Yeah.
With every
So maybe an unfair
little unfair, but no, Cade is a special in his own right. Like he could do a lot of different things, and he's like that point forward or combo guard because he has that 6'7" size and can just do a lot.
Last thing about today's NBA from me, Maz, and then feel free. The Brooklyn Nets. I mean, the Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant,
bad
Kyrie Irving.
project.
Kyrie Irving, we can go with that a million different ways, including the shoes that are 50% off now at Nike. But, I mean, Steve Nash, he had no chance. He had no business getting the job probably in the first place. It just seems like a mess. I mean, everybody kind of, when Kyrie and Kevin Durant came together, and then even Ben Simmons a little bit. I don't know what you make of him, but if anything. But this seemed like a slam dunk champion. And now they can barely make the playoffs.
Well, when you assemble, Kevin Durant, Kyrie, James Harden, you automatically think
champs.
Hey, we're fighting for the championship, and to see how it just got dismantled so fast. I mean, it all started with James Harden not wanting to be a part of it anymore, and then it went from that to trying to trade him to get a piece to fit. You get Ben Simmons, who didn't play the entire time last year when he got back due to injury and other things. Then you get the Kyrie situation and Kevin Durant trying to force his way out of town. It was just a lot to deal with, and to put on a new coach who'd never coached before, asking him to manage those egos, because that's what you're doing in essence, is managing superstar egos. And that was a tough job. And now we're looking at it like it's a dumpster fire. It's
totally.
I think we all can kind of agree that after this season, Kyrie may be gone.
I hope so.
KD may try to force his way out, and you're left with Ben Simmons as your best player.
They almost handpicked Steve Nash.
No, they did.
They did pick them.
Yeah.
They picked him, and then they all turned on him. Yeah. So he had no chance. Now Jacques Vaughn's there. You got a little history with Jacques Vaughn.
Yeah.
Back in the day when he went to Orlando,
you had out for the Orlando job.
Right. You had a shot to get that gig.
Yep. But that's a tough job, man. But anytime you got Kevin Durant, though, you have a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
You just have to have some supporting cast around him, and I just don't know if they have enough.
Let me ask you this. Kyrie Irving, we know how talented he is, and we know he stands on his laurels. He's a believer of what he believes.
Right.
And you know what? For that, I appreciate him.
Right.
He stands, and he don't give a damn what you say to him, what you think about him. But would you consider him a good teammate?
Good question, and it's hard to answer that without me actually being there, because I would love to hear what Kevin Durant and some other guys would say about him being a good teammate. Or
not playing all that time,
Well, you got to look at you're talking about last year without taking a shot, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't mind him not taking a shot. That's his business.
Right. But at the time, the laws wouldn't allow him in New York to participate.
Which is the stupidest thing, because the visitor team was coming in without shots.
Think about that.
If you want to say the stupidest thing in the world was the NBA during COVID.
Right.
Because he could buy a ticket and sit front row to the game
but
that he couldn't play in.
He can't play against another unvaxxed visiting player.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Either way.
Well, a lot of workers were affected by that in New York.
Of course.
So
a lot of lawsuits going on.
Yeah, I heard a lot of
crazy.
People but a lot of people they're being reinstated in their jobs and they're getting their money back.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know if you ever played with a guy like him.
I wonder if Kyrie getting his money back.
Well, he's not getting it from Nike anymore. They have severed ties.
Oh yeah, we know that.
You see, now that's a good sneaker.
It's the best basketball shoe out.
It's like $160 sneaker, and they're going for $75 now.
Go load up on them, man. Maybe
if anyone wants a last-minute present, Nike, go to Nike.com.
What makes a good shoe?
And get a Kyrie.
The feel of
it.
The feel, how it feel, especially being a guard, you want something comfortable that you can move around in, and you can has great grip and all that.
The
stuff.
amount of stopping and starting and pounding your feet take,
absolutely,
as a basketball player.
Yes.
It's pretty something. You better get a comfortable shoe.
You better, because I lost the toenails every other month when I used to play.
Oh, man.
That's painful.
That is painful. All right, guys, we're going to take a break. Come right back. When we do, we're going to talk a little Michigan football, why Maz is so upset about New Year's Eve in the college football playoff. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Come to Les Stanford for all the new Chevys and Cadillacs you can have on your lot. Let me tell you something about Les Stanford. The Silverado, baby. What else they got this month? The Malibu. The Silverado and the $285 on the Malibu. On the Silverado. $225 on the Malibu. Are you kidding me? Les Stanford, located on Michigan Avenue in Dearborn. Lindsey's going to go pick up a new Silverado. He's going this week, in fact. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com. Find new roads.
Find them.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
At Alta.
Uptime, it matters.
Alta, uptime matters, even right here at Big Boy. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, Alta Rentals got you covered. Give them a call today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO, the number 2, Alta.
Call them. Call them today. Uptime, it matters. Live from Big Boy in Wyandotte on Biddle Road. Ryan Ermanni, Lindsey Hunter in for Braylon today. Tom Mazawey, Fletch, Flannel, Stick is in the house. Do you want to talk a little Michigan football? Maz, you are really upset about New Year's Eve. Tell me about it.
In the past. I have been. Listen, if I was just a single guy, it wouldn't matter to me. I'll sit home and watch the games on New Year's Eve. I'm a father of 3. I'm going to be in New Jersey visiting my family. Huge family.
Jersey Mike?
Jersey Mike. I'll be at his house.
There you go.
They always have parties, This time, they want to go out to dinner.
Oh, man. Who wants to go out to dinner?
What time do you think we're going to go out to dinner?
7 o'clock.
Probably about 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
What quarter do you think it'll be when the Michigan game is played?
Third quarter.
Third quarter. Okay. Come on, man. New Year's Eve for the 2 biggest games of the year. Come on, man. Can't you do it the next week? Or I don't give a damn if you do it midweek. You can't do it on New Year's Eve. 2 championship games on New Year's Eve when people have things to do. Yes, not all of us are controlled. They have to stay home and, you have to leave and do things with your family. But I'm a big football fan, man. That's number 1 to me. Well, number 2 behind the family. But I want to watch the game in peace. I want to enjoy it. And how am I going to enjoy that game now? And then the next game, forget it. I'm going to have to watch it on my phone? Are you kidding? And then they're going to say, what are you doing down there? Watching stuff on your phone. There's got to be a better way than to do it on Christmas Eve, Christmas, or New Year's Eve. Hell, New Year's Day, make it. New Year's Day.
So I actually was talking to a couple of buddies last night about this. We go to Michigan. We're huge Michigan fans. I am so happy that they are playing the 4 o'clock game. Right. Because, look, I am not a single guy either. Married, couple of kids. You got to do, you have duties.
Yes, right.
You have duties, keeping the kids occupied.
And it's duty.
Going into and you can't watch the game with the respect that the game deserves.
Correct.
As a sports fan.
Yes.
You can have it on and it's great and you can see it, but you can't really give it the respect that you want to give it.
Right.
And so by that, I am so happy that it's a 4 o'clock game because our activities probably won't start until 7:30, 8 o'clock, and all that nighttime activities that you do with the kids or whatever. So I'm happy about that. But they got to figure something out about this. I mean, this sucks. It really does, man. It just, I hate it. I hate it.
Well, I don't, because my kids are older
Yeah.
now.
What do you do on New Year's Eve, Lindsey?
I don't.
Nothing.
We don't really do much.
I wish that was me, but it ain't me.
We don't really do much.
It ain't me.
We don't really do much, so we'll probably cook all day and try to get done by.
But
night.
even that though, right? I mean, even if you're home, because it's not like I'm going out doing some crazy party. Maybe I have a couple of people over at the house and kids will run around and stuff like that. Right. But even that, the game becomes secondary to
absolutely.
Cooking or being in the kitchen or doing whatever you want. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to cook, it becomes secondary instead of at the forefront. And I hope this changes. It will change. We only have one more year of it, Maz.
Really?
Yeah. And then the college football playoff.
Okay, and then when are they going to play those?
I think those are first round weekend.
Trust me, they'll still fall on a day that we're not supposed to. They can't watch.
They're moving to 12 teams, right?
Yeah, 12 teams.
12 teams.
What's wrong with waiting to New Year's Day?
I don't know. This year it's a little bit different because I think New Year's Day is the NFL. It's a Sunday.
That's right.
So that's why this year it screws up. They don't want to compete against the NFL.
I don't blame them there.
And I don't think the Rose Bowl is even competing against them on New Year's Day this year. I think the Rose Bowl is on January 2nd.
Yeah, probably
this year.
Then play it on January 2nd.
Yeah, I don't know why they can't play it January 2nd and then go January 9th in the because you would have.
Would that be a
7 days.
Monday?
Monday.
What's wrong with that?
Well, nothing, because January 2nd technically is the New Year's Day holiday this year.
Right.
So I'm excited about the game. I hate when the game is played.
That ain't right, man. It really takes, to me. Are you going to get as many people watching it, you think, on New Year's Eve?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure. I'm sure you will, but
okay, I don't think you are.
It's Michigan, man.
We'll find out.
Yeah, everybody's going to watch this.
Except me, I'll be watching on and off.
What are you going to be doing? You going to go to a restaurant with no TV?
Well, I'll have my phone.
Oh God!
I'll have my phone. I don't know what my sister cooked up for us and where we're going. I do know there's a couple of places we might go. That's not the point. Even if it had a TV, I'm going to be watching it. It was like my sister got married on Game 7 of the 1991 World Series. Okay? Game 7. That's John Smoltz against Jack Morris. And I spent more time at the bar than I did with my family at the freaking wedding.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I don't want that.
Oh,
But,
my God.
some things you got to pick, right? You just got to pick.
so funny.
I'm not missing a game. I'm just not missing a game. I'm not.
That's
It
great.
sucks.
It's hilarious.
Guys, college football portal teams, college football teams with the most guys in the portal. I saw that quarterback from West Virginia, what's the kid's name from West Virginia, the quarterback?
I wish I could
that
help you.
played at USC.
Slovis?
JT Daniels.
JT Daniels.
He's good.
He is going to be playing for his fourth team.
Where's he going?
I don't know, but West Virginia, he's out of West Virginia now. He played at LSU, and he played at USC. He is out. I mean, it is incredible to me what has happened in this portal. One time I like giving you the free pass one time. I don't like, a player being able to move once every year.
What does that say about the player, really?
Exactly. Here's a look at some of the teams. Oregon with 13 guys in their portal. That's pretty
Look at
significant.
A&M.
Texas A&M, 16 guys. He's going to get fired there, Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher has to get fired.
Alabama's got 11.
Yeah, they usually do, though. Alabama's got guys in the portal every year.
That's because they don't play them.
There's an offensive lineman from Alabama that I would like to see here at Michigan next year.
And Michigan's going after some defensive end, and I forgot where the heck he's from. He's supposed to be one of the top 5 in the country, and they're hoping that he's going to come over.
Braylon Allen, the running back from Wisconsin, I thought he had a chance to come here to Michigan, too. That would have been incredible if he came here next year.
He must have got the word that Blake Corum might be coming back.
Corum's not coming back.
You don't think he is?
I don't think he's coming back. I think he's going pro. Did he sign with an agent, maybe? I don't know if he did or not. He did not. But either way. All right, guys, we're going to take a break. Come right back when we do more with Lindsey Hunter, Tom Mazawey. We are at Big Boy in... Where are we? Wyandotte. Where are we? I don't even know where I am right now. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment on your dream home up to $200,000. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff-A Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward and Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff-A Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Downtown Detroit is all decked out this holiday season with the return of the Cadillac Lodge and the Monroe Street Midway. The Midway has a giant slide, winter bumper cars, and an indoor arcade. Plus, you can grab drinks in the lodge before or after games. Shop, eat, and play downtown all winter along with Decked Out Detroit, or you can visit them at deckedoutdetroit.com.
It's so funny. Stick's been here since 6:15. He's been here all morning long.
Did he have the big boy breakfast?
No, dude. Stick's the all everything at Woodward Sports. I mean, you got to probably go to Stick, right? He's setting up this stuff. He's going to take it down. So I asked him a question, Lindsey. You've been here since. What'd you eat? I'm actually disappointed. I wanted like a list of like 30 items that I wanted to hear him eat. But he's been to these big boy locations where he's done that in the past. Potato pancakes, big gyms, slim gyms, big boys, all kinds of fun stuff. All right, hey, can you put that graphic back up in the portal? Because I think I did not see one team in here that I'm looking for.
What are you looking for?
You know which team you don't see?
Ohio State?
Colorado.
Oh, MSU.
Colorado. Deion Sanders told those kids to jump in that portal.
Dude, he did, right?
And those kids don't want to leave Colorado. They want to compete for that job. How about that? Isn't that something?
That's pretty cool.
What do you think of Deion there?
Unless they're like right at 8 or 9.
Yeah, right. But nonetheless, it's it's not a mass exodus like otherwise. What do you think of Deion at Colorado? You think he'll succeed?
I think he will.
Yeah.
He's already like getting the attention of some top recruits.
Yeah.
So he can recruit.
Yep.
He has the gift of gab.
Absolutely.
He's going to talk a great game. I think he'll do well.
Yeah.
I think he'll do well.
Do you blame him for leaving Jackson State? And what do you think the real reason he left Jackson State is?
Well,
Is it just for the money, for the glory to get into a Power 5 conference? What's your take on that? Because there's a lot of rumors going around.
Yeah, a lot of rumors. People talking about all types of craziness. But you can't blame him, honestly.
I don't.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, he was making $300,000, making $5 million. That alone.
Plus.
Yeah, that alone, you can take care of your assistants or whoever else you need to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
And with the resources Colorado has, it's not even comparable to what Jackson State has.
Sure.
So you can't blame him for going and wanting to be in a better situation. All the rumors and all the craziness that we're hearing about, I have no idea what's true or what's not true. I do know he stated from the beginning that he would entertain any Power 5 opportunities.
Right.
He said that.
Yep. Even on 60 Minutes a couple of weeks earlier.
Yeah, he said that. Now, I do understand why some of the people feel the way they feel. Now, it doesn't bother me because, it's the nature of the business. But a lot of people are saying that he was promoting HBCU and telling kids you don't have to go to Power 5 to get to the next level. So some people are kind of hurt about that part.
Sure.
But you can't blame the guy for wanting to do better.
And like he said, you either get fired or you either get promoted or you get fired. There's no in between,
right.
With coaches. I want to take a look at the Lions' strength of schedule. This is the strength of schedule for NFL teams as we go down the stretch. 5 weeks to go, just to get back into some college football. The Lions, that we talk about their schedule, guys, right there at 23rd in the league, is the 23rd easiest schedule. Once you get past Minnesota, and obviously then you're going to have a tough road at the New York Jets. I mean, this thing really does set up there with the Minnesota Vikings at the Jets, and then you've got 3 games in which you should win. You're the better team. Carolina, Chicago, and Green Bay. And yes, you are a better football team right now than the Green Bay Packers. This thing is going to be really interesting as we look at the playoff picture in the NFL. If the season ended today, this is what it would look like. I think in the AFC, these are your teams. These are the 7 teams currently right now in the AFC. Those are the 7 teams that are going to make the division or make the playoffs. In the NFC, I think the Giants are out. There's one spot there that's going to need to be filled, and that's the Giants spot. I think Dallas gets 5. I think Seattle gets 6, but Seattle just signed a running back because Kenneth Walker is out. So will they? And in that game against the St. Louis Rams or the LA Rams doesn't look as like a lock with Baker Mayfield now in Los Angeles. But we'll see. I don't think the Giants. I think there's one spot available in the entire NFL playoff picture right now. What do you guys say? What do you think?
I think, like you said, I think Seattle will win.
Yeah,
will get in. I think they'll win 2 of their next games, get 9 wins. and that's all they're going to need because they have the tiebreaker on the Lions. It's going to be a fight to the death between Washington and the Giants, and, of course, the Lions are right behind them. If they can catch lightning in a bottle and get some breaks, they're going to need to win all their games. They have. The Lions have to sweep. They got to get 10 to get in there.
That's what the tie did.
Yeah.
The tie between the Giants and Washington pretty much gave the Lions no margin of error now. I think if one of those teams had won the game and you add a loss somewhere, then you can start rooting for the other team. But I think the Lions have to get to 10 to get in. I don't think 9 does it.
Yeah. Why do you think the Giants are going to follow?
I don't think they're that good. I think they were playing above their heads, and now the schedule really, really sets up against them. Look at the Giants remain. I mean, they play the Eagles twice. On the road at Washington, on the road at Minnesota, and then you've got an Indianapolis team that's Jekyll and Hyde.
They could win 2 of those games easily. They could beat Minnesota, and they could beat Indianapolis.
Okay,
they could beat Washington, too.
They can.
They might be able to beat Philly. You
never know.
They're not beating Philly.
Well, in Week 18, if Philly already has the...
Their backup will be...
Yeah, right, no doubt. Hopefully you're right. But I'm really hoping that the Dallas Cowboys beat the Eagles, so that Week 18 game will be essentially for the division.
The Giants and Washington have the 2 hardest schedules going forward. As you saw that strength of schedule, they were 2nd and 3rd on the tougher schedule. So, like you said, right, they're going to wind up. They might wind up killing each other off.
Yeah,
they just might.
We'll see.
And that's how you can sneak in.
I just don't ever want the Cowboys to win. I don't care what the situation is.
They might be the favorite in the NFC this year.
Who cares, man?
Oh, man.
The downside about that is they could win 11 games and still have to go to freaking Tampa Bay.
Yeah, right.
Tampa Bay could win 8 games this year, because they're going to win their division. They're the number 4 seed. The NFL's got to look at that, too.
Then we'll see the great Tom Brady pull out his magic.
Then we'll see.
I'm not betting against Tom Brady in the postseason. Well, Flannel says that Ben Wallace isn't a Hall of Famer, too.
I used to. When he was a Patriot. I don't hate him as
Tom
much.
Brady's overrated.
Well, do you really say that?
He's the GOAT and overrated at the same time.
He's the GOAT and LOAT.
How is that
He's
even
had
possible?
2 separate Hall of Fame careers.
How the hell is that possible? You're overrated and you're the GOAT.
Yeah, because here's how it's possible. It's possible.
No, that's not possible.
It is possible.
But explain yourself.
It is possible because the fact that he has 7 Super Bowls, it does not mean it's just because he's that much better than everybody else. It's because he's been in some very fortunate situations. He's had a lot of Brady luck.
Which most Super Bowls people are in ideal situations.
Not like Tom Brady has had 2 game-losing turnovers in playoff games nullified by 1, the Tuck rule, and 2 by D Ford lining off sides on a play he had absolutely no impact on.
Face the facts. That happens.
No quarterback has ever had a turnover nullified by
Adam
a
Vinatieri won a few as well.
Hey.
The people who have spoken, they love Lindsey Hunter. Lindsey, so good to see you. We'll see you in studio tomorrow, all right?
Sir.
We'll do it
only if he wants to.
I'm there.
Only if he wants
okay,
to.
just checking. Just making sure.
Right. Flannel may have scared him off a little bit here.
No way.
I'm just playing with it. Hey, Maz, good stuff out of you today. Want to thank Fletch and Flannel, my guys. Stick. Always an incredible job out of you. Want to thank everybody here at Big Boy. Go to a Big Boy near you. Worth the one in Wyandotte. Great food, great people, great atmosphere, and some of the best staff that you will see. Tip your servers, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow from the studio.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.